Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got two maps from creators we've done fairly recently in the past, both inspired by real-life locations, one from either side of the pond. This very first one is European, the second will be from USA, and both of them have their merits. Now this first map, down the ground level, will look a little bit brighter. As you pull back from the map, LODs and stuff like that just pop out. And with this one, for some reason, it just lost some of its colour from this height. I'm not bothered by that, but I just thought I'd let you know before we get down to ground level that it's going to be a little bit brighter. The second map is a lot flatter than this one. For those of you that like a flat map, the second map is definitely going to appease you. One thing that would appease me, though, is a little bit of compliance, please. That's right, complying is a very good way of supporting the channel, getting me seen by more people and helping me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Kraftwerk. Ah, I remember them. Didn't like them. By Uncle Ron. Just not my sort of music, I'm afraid. But hey, listen, they had a big following, Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk, maybe. There's your start square. Look, does this not feel beautiful? Does this not feel beautiful? There's your terrain heights. Terrain heights, just river valleys. We're actually on the Swiss-German border, roughly, here at the moment. Resources are very strong. Near Koblenz, and this is the confluence of the Rhine and the, I think it's the R, or the R. Yeah, my German is as good as my English. Barely. And I've got fishing. If you've got Sunset Harbour, you've got fishing. Salmon and anchovies definitely workable on those rivers. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Very nicely written description that covers everything that you're gonna need to know. We'll be using the Alpine Summer Mix, which is a combination of the Alps Dolomites theme, Coos Bay, Laviante 2.0, Lake Thun or Thun, Stray Cats Territory Nature Reserve, and we'll be using the Relight 2 Alpine LUT. Got a collection of things to subscribe to, and this is one of those maps where they actually does add. So sometimes you get maps where there's so much and you go, why? Procedural objects are in operation today. If you haven't got procedural objects mod, doesn't matter. Just going to be missing some of the detailing, some of the best detailing, but some of the detailing, it won't really affect your game at all. Anyway, on top of all that, there are some render it settings, which I'm going to tell you, I've decided not to put in because there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, Uncle Ron, and I don't have enough hours in the day to go through render it and make sure all of these are set. So I've used the base what map settings, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give at the end when we get to the stars, because it's not looking exactly as it should do. We're going to give you an extra quarter of a star. No matter what I feel this map is worth, I'm going to put on an extra quarter of a star because I'm assuming I'm losing you a quarter of a star by not putting the render it settings in. So I think that's the only fair way, because I just haven't got time to go through all of those and put all of those in for some tweak settings. So remember, the map doesn't look quite as spectacular as it probably should do, but yeah, I'm using base watts map settings, which are some very standard relight and ultimate eye candy things that I use for every other map. And yes, I just apologise. I haven't got the time. I've got a life. I've got a relative in hospital that I'm visiting almost on a daily basis. I'm running around, and I just, yeah, there was a little bit. If it had been like maybe a dozen settings, maybe I probably would for a dozen settings, but a list that long, thank you for going to the effort of including it for those people that need it. But yeah, well, technically I need it, I guess. Anyway, we are down at ground level, and I'm going to tell you, I love this map. I absolutely love everything, pretty much everything about it. There are one or two minor issues. Issues are fixable when you're down at ground level and you're playing the game. So there's not going to be anything here for the sort of player that wants to play this sort of map. There's not going to be anything here that's going to put you off. So put this on your tick list of maps to play. the thing that's going to put most people off will be the requirements list, and you know, having seen the requirements list, whether that list is too long for you. If it's too long for you, you're already disinterested. If it's not too long for you, promise you, you'll love this map. Well, assuming you want, like, River Valley map. Yeah, why would you not want the River Valley map? The standards are beautiful. The standards are very, very beautiful. And Uncle Ron, who we've reviewed 10 times in the past, including in episode 1466, a 14-star map. Yeah. Ah, what a beautiful map that one was. I mean, just so good. This one is just so good as well. I mean, it's borderline to that 14 stars. We'll get to that at the end of the show, or the end of the flyover anyway. Right, so coming up towards the main meat of the map, including a lovely intersection. I'm guessing, I haven't been down to ground level. The map is inspired by the region, so I don't expect these roads to match up exactly, but the quality of them, I mean, maybe they are inspired by the actual intersections and stuff like that. But they're done really well. Whether they're inspired or they are Uncle Ron's own divine work, they are divine. Anyway, down to Start Square here. A couple of trains running through it. Lovely. Start Square, I can't remember exactly where it fits here, but this is your main buildable start tile or 2 or 3 in that area. It's all good. It's definitely very, very inspiring. Okay, let's pick out. This is the level of pedantry we're going to have today, right? Okay, look at the wires running through there. That is a fail. So you're losing all. Look, do you know, if that was the only fail on the entire map, then you still get your 5th star for detailing. That's the kind of minor detailing flaw that we allow 1 in the map. Once you get 2, the map's no longer perfection. But 1, we didn't see it, did we, guys? No, we didn't. Did you see that? I didn't see that. Did anybody? Nobody saw it. It's fine. But if there's any more, and sadly there are, then that's where you lose the 5th star. But yeah, that was your 1. The level of course, the thing is, when you get a map that is so good, you are looking for the look. Okay, right, there's one tiny thing that could be tiny little bit, weeny bit better, but we all know that I'm just being a complete pedant, and so yeah, it's just quality. We're going to see a few minor things. One of them is a lot less minor than that, but again, you're going to look at it and go, yeah, but I can fix that in like 5 seconds, BonBon. I know you can. I know you can. And so could Uncle Ron. That's the point. Anyway, now got a tiny little minor grumble going on here where we've got the merging of the rail. Tiny weeny little problem. You can see how one is just glitching slightly higher than the other, and having tested this, it is literally 1 click of the move it. There we go, move it. Select the node, which is here. 1 click downwards, 1 click downwards. There it goes, and that one's fixed. It's so near to perfection, literally. We do, however, have a catenary chaos right there in the middle of the line, but not really sure what you can do about that one. I mean, maybe, yeah, we're just moving on. We'll ignore it. We're ignoring it. Right, okay, the rail splits again. Gotta say, I do love these tunnel entrances. I've seen them used before, but I've not seen them used better. So there's a little bit of high praise for Uncle Ron there. That's very nicely done, like in the way that they're being pushed through the hill there. Just, it's believable. Got a power station over there, which I'll have a look at in a moment. Loving the shapes of the trees, loving the shapes of the river, loving the shapes of the hills. I mean, literally everything about this sings to me, can build on me. And if I didn't have a list of about 400 other maps that I really want to build on, I'd be building on this one tomorrow. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. Anyway, yeah, we've got just some nice shapes, interesting, real European. There's a real European dynamic going on with this map. A real dynamic. It's a working river. We've got water flow. I didn't check for shipping routes. I don't think we've got shipping routes. Should have checked for shipping routes, but I was so wowed by just everything. I mean, even the theme mix is amazing. Look at the theme mix, at how we're getting the muddy, the flatlands and stuff like that. It is, everything about this is so cool. But yes, I do have some things to. Let's highs and lows, okay? I love this. I love this little knobble on the bend of the river. I am completely into that. I'm loving this little area as well. And we're talking about some great detailing going on. Now, we are using procedural objects. If you don't have procedural objects, there'll be huge chunks of this bit of detailing missing. But they are basically just props. I mean, procedural objects aren't props, but they are basically props. They're just a visual addition to the map. And so if they're not there, nothing will change. Everything will still be the same. It just won't look so pretty. And it does look very pretty. Another one over here again. I'm just jumping around showing the good stuff because there will be a couple of grumbles coming along in a moment. And those grumbles, I don't want to focus on those without showing good stuff. Okay, power station. Interesting use of the that little round thing. I can't remember what it's called, but interesting use of that. That works as well. All of this power station works. We have got a slightly floating chimney there. Just a slightly floating cooling tower. There we go. Slightly floating, but it's a minor grumble. Loving the quarry, by the way. Loving the quarry. Everybody's favourite factory is actually a procedural object as well, which is helping it not to affect the terrain. I'm sure that's why Uncle Ron has done it as a procedural object. But look at the shape and the textures on that quarry. That is stunning. And here's grumbles. Okay, now this cliff face looks like solid rock. Trees of that size would not be growing out of solid rock normally. Maybe one or two might, but I don't buy into that. It just looks like tree brush over the entire solid rock. And yeah, that for me is a minor fail. This, however, is the biggest fail on the entire map. And you're looking and going, it looks perfectly good, BonBonB. What's going on? Well, first of all, have a look up here. We have got some catenaries or suspensions or something up there in the air. Can you see them? Up against the sky. I don't know what they are or why they're there, but it's not even the biggest problem with this bridge. The bridge looks great, by the way. But the biggest problem is over the other side, and this one for me is the biggest fail on the entire map. And again, you're going to say it'll take me 5 seconds to fix this, and you would be right. That one's just glitching slightly through. This one, the train would need the step ladder, frankly, to get over this one. I call that a fail. So there's definitely no 5th star for detailing. In fact, that one is quite bad. That it would be a reasonable chunk off of a score. Still a very good map for detailing. Just have to, well, whenever you're docking stars for detailing flaws, how important are they is the thing. Yeah. But what do you think of the map overall? Forget about the detailing. What about the overall score for the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure that you're voting on the right map, because there are 2 maps to vote on. Right, okay, what do I think of Kraftwerk by Uncle Ron? Well, it's visually stunning. It's visually stunning. I absolutely love this one. Is it iconic? I don't think it's iconic, but it's stunning and I love it. I'm going to go for a middle 4, and then I'm going to add the 1/4 star, which will bring us up to a very high 4 stars. For me, love it. Absolutely love it. Detailing is very strong indeed. In fact, I would probably go for at least a very high 4 stars, maybe even a little bit higher. But that last bit of detailing error with the bridge, I'm afraid, is a big chunk off of the score. I'm going to bring it down to a medium low 4 stars. Gameplay potential, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Apart from having a few bits and pieces to fix, which just takes it out the 5th star, I want to go for a very high 4 stars. For me, this is an absolute winner, an absolute blessing. Uncle Ron, thank you so much for this one. Guess what? You guessed correct. You can have the BonBonB seal of approval without any question. Right, straight back after this for a flatter American map, for those of you that like flatter American maps. See you in a moment. And so to our second map. Now, it looks a bit bland and ordinary from up here. Well, it is a little bit bland and ordinary from down there, because we are in Middle America. Well, if you can call Texas Middle America, I guess. This is a flat, ordinary American style. If you're looking for a flat, ordinary American style build, this could be for you. It's a creator we've done 3 times in the past, episodes 1493, 1500 and 1523, where they've on average got about 10.5 stars, and I think that sounds about right. So let's have a little look at today's second map, which is Piney Woods, Texas, by I Can't Think of a Name. About time we did. No, please don't change it. It's stuck now. It's with me forever. Okay, Piney Woods, inspired by Piney Woods in Texas, which I've had a little look at, and it does seem a little bit like this. A little bit. There's your start square. A few little national roads crisscrossing. Terrain heights, very buildable. Look, it's flat. It's flat. Boring or buildable. We've had that poll, haven't we? Resources are very strong. Very, very bold. That's all I can say about those. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's not really a fishing map, but there are anchovies and salmon to be found. Okay, off to the workshop. What do you need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There's a short list of requirements, which will include the Stray Cats Territory Nature Reserve theme. We'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT. Tree Anarchy is in operation. I don't remember what the tree count was. I don't think we were close to the tree limit. But hey, listen, it's pretty important. If you're an unlimited tree mod user and you try and load up a tree anarchy, it's just that things will break. Make sure you've got the right tree mod. That's the thing. Anyway, that's your list of requirements. So a shorter list, just a few bits and pieces. I would say pretty nicely used. Okay, the forests and whatever feel quite pleasing and quite workable. And the intersections are quite humdrum and mundane because Texas. I know. Houston in Texas has got that mammoth 42-lane highway and whatever, and that's not mundane, and that is in Texas. But we're talking about most of Texas here. We're talking about most of the flat, boring landscape with Texans. I just visualise people driving around in their coupes with 10-gallon hats on and guns attached to their to the hips, and just police driving around and eating donuts. This is as a Brit, and I know you visualise me sat here with a pot of tea. I don't even own a pot to put tea in. I have some instant tea bags in the cupboard for when visitors come, which they never do, and I'm sure they're out of date. But it's fine, they're tea bags. It's fine, they're not going to go off. They're just going to lose some of their flavour. But anyway, I think the answer to this story is never visit BonBon and ask for tea, because it will be stale. I'm a coffee drinker, you know that. Anyway, I think what we'll do at the next intersection is we'll take a right, because that will take us down into the start square. I know I'm not saying too much about the map, but I think the map is speaking for itself. The standards are workingly good. Look, very happy with all of that. Bridge height is lovely, and the roads are, they're not wibbly wobbly. They're straight and believable. The forests are mixed enough to be interesting without being so dynamic that you go, oh, it's the best forest I've ever seen. But then that would take the tree count to about 7 billion. Everything is fine. And the Stray Cats Territory Nature Reserve theme as well, I would say, has got enough texture, like in the grass, just to make the boring area, like this is the boring area. This boring area is a little bit interesting because there's a bit of texture in the ground. And finding a good theme, if you're making a map, finding the right theme for your map is key. Now, you don't have to do a big complex theme mix like some people, like me. But finding a simple theme that works beautifully for your map is key. Start square. Start square. It's very buildable, isn't it? I mean, as a European, and all the Europeans watching the show are going to go, that was a genuine yawn at the end, actually. I was faking a yawn and a real yawn came out. Yeah, when you get to something like this, I know you Americans love it. You're already seeing like the mall, the town centre, the suburbia. You can already see all of that in this area, and all we're seeing is grid. It's just the way our brains are wired. And I know you Americans are going, you Brits and your roundabouts. Yeah, I can't imagine a world without roundabouts. I genuinely can't. Oh, but we're all compact and close in together, so you've got to keep the traffic flowing. Whereas over, having vehicles stop at a T junction over there doesn't matter so much because you've got a lot of road to stack up in normally. Anyway, the map as a whole is it's not the most inspiring, to be fair. Come on, I can't think of it. I think you accept that. In fact, you would kind of accept that in the description. This is probably the most interesting part. The it's a dam. It's some way of damming to create a reservoir. So the straight-edged reservoir is probably most interesting, followed by the vanilla pier, which has been used quite neatly. I've got a decent-sized forest over here, without being so dense of trees that you have a tree count that goes through the roof. Nice shaped lake, little lake in the middle of the map as well. We've even got this little river down here which exists in real. Is it the Sabine River? Did I read that? Sabine River? That's just from memory. That'll be gone out of my head in about 5 minutes. Interesting shape. Works its way down the side here if you wanted to do something over this way. If you wanted to do something over this way. The field's big and boxy because America. Big and boxy. It's all good. It's alright. I got nothing. The thing is, I got nothing really here to complain about. There's nothing to complain about apart from it's just not the most inspiring of locations. If you're looking to build the area, then maybe it is. A little bit of catenary chaos down there with the catenaries just on the lines. Of course, in America, I would imagine those catenaries would need to be removed, and then you don't have catenary chaos. So I guess that's just a question of modding that out. If you're modding that out because that's what you want to do, that'll be fixed. Anyway, we've got everyone's favourite factory down there as well. It's for the BonBonBingo players. Link is in the description. Okay, minor grumble down here. I think it's there's two trees that encroach onto the catenaries if you are running with catenaries. There's one there, and this one just clips in as well. I think those are the only two on the entire... Hang on, is this one even touching the line? It's not. Well, it is, isn't it? Yeah, the trees would... The trains would soon cut that branch off, wouldn't they? The first one that comes through would rip that off. Okay, minor, tiny, weeny little grumble here. The terrain around this this bridge looks a little bit glitchy with the straight lines. Possibly a little bit of the smoothing tool on that, or hide it with a little rock work or a little foliage or something. I'm stretching here. There's nothing wrong with the map really. I'm stretching. Yeah, I've already said the catenaries would be switched off, so the catenary matters don't matter, and the glitching of that terrain there, maybe it's like that in real life. I've not been. I do not know. I've covered everything, basically. It's not the most exciting map, but is it a map that you would be happy to build on? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But remember to vote on the correct map, because we don't want to be making any silly mistakes now, do we? Do we? I don't think we do. Okay, what do I think of Piney Woods, Texas by I Can't Think of a Name? Well, aesthetically, it's fine. There's nothing horrible about it. It's got some interesting bits in it. Yeah, loving the shape of the lake, and I think the theme and luck combo work for it. There's nothing that's grabbing me, though, so I can't really go into the 4th star. I'm going to go towards medium high 3. It's fine. It's fine. Also, the detailing is fine. There's nothing here that's really singing you've got to give 4 stars for effort or anything like that. I'm going to match the aesthetic score. It's a medium high 3. Gameplay potential. Right, while it's not for me, I can see there is playability in this, but inspiration? I've got to go for let's go for a very high 3 stars for gameplay. Piney Woods, Texas by I can't think of a name. A name. I can't think of a name. That's it's a Texas. It's look. I told you at the start of the show. It's going to be a flat map. It's what you're looking for. You'll love it. There will be takers for that, and they will not be disappointed. And that's the important thing. People that don't disappoint me are those that have supported me on Patreon. And if you want to get into that group, you know what to do. And if you want to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite, you want to get the word of the day into the comments. And then that will be done. And we'll be happy. And I'll be back with some streaming tomorrow and What's Map on Wednesday. See you then.